Jake, can you tell us a little bit about what your job is for today?
Sure thing. So I'm the clerk of scales, and it's my job to make sure that all the jockeys have arrived to the race meet on time, and we communicate with the stewards and the trainers to make sure that all the horses have arrived and passed the vet check. And then we start weighing the jockeys out race by race, make sure that they're riding to their assigned weights, and then after the race we weigh them back in, make sure that they're still at the correct weight, and then we give the all-clear sign to the stewards.
And Jake, if you can tell us just a little bit about, we notice here some of the riders carry lead and lead packs and stuff like that. Can you explain to us why they need to do that?
Yeah, so it's quite a process. Each race, a rider is assigned a different weight, and the way the riders adjust to get the correct weight for each race is by using different size saddles that have different weights to them. Some of them will ride with lead pads, and they can adjust the amount of lead carried in that pad, and it can be quite a challenge. Some of the jockeys have to watch their diet all week long and jog and sweat to get to make their lightest weights that they carry. And it's ironic, sometimes they have to suffer all week so they can ride one light race, and then the rest of their race they might actually have to carry lead. So it's a lot of work, and they have to be very conscious of what they eat and how they train.
Jake, I mean, they're tough guys, like you say. You're a former rider yourself, so you know what it's like to be on the other end of it. You know, doing the dieting and all that stuff like that. It looks like they got you pretty well set up here today. And how is it feeling to be inside a nice fan room? It still looks like you're a little bit warm in here, though.
So it's always hard racing on these really, really hot days. Like I mentioned earlier, some of the jockeys have to do a bit of sweating to get their weight down. And when you're riding a bit dehydrated on a hot day, you don't have those natural fluids in your body that help with keeping you cool. So heat stroke is a real threat and something that everybody has to be careful of. I fortunately have this tent and this fan. They look after me quite well. But anytime there's a delay on a hot day like we had a couple races ago, and the horses are already in the paddock, it just adds to the stress. You know, hot days out racing are a particularly big challenge.
And just quickly, Jake, we're going to talk about the weighing scales here. It's the digital scales. You work with the digital scales all the time, more so than the old-fashioned ones. I mean, you have it exactly down to the decimal here when you look at the screen.
Yep. So each race meet is in charge of supplying their own scale. So there are different types of scales at the different meets, but generally they're all battery-powered digital scales. And they're fairly straightforward. Every once in a while you have a battery malfunction, but we always make sure there's a backup.
Ladies and gentlemen, obviously I've been off for quite a while injured myself, and my weight's crept up, so I might be looking to this man here in a few weeks to turn a blind eye if I'm a few pounds overweight. But Jake, thanks very much. I mean, there's a lot of cogs in the wheel to make this sport happen, and you know, sometimes people like this get kind of unseen, but we couldn't do the job without you, and we definitely want to thank you for doing that, and good luck for the rest of the day.
You're welcome, and it's a privilege to be a part of that cog.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.